So I know it's preliminary final week, and this is probably the last thing we want to talk about, but we need to talk about what Mitch Cleary said about Brody Mihocek. Let's get into it. What is going on? Welcome back to another episode of Swoop Luke. What we're going to be talking about is Brody Mihocek and his contract and the clubs that are reportedly after him and how it's going to work out for the Pies. Now, like I said at the top of the show, I know that it's preliminary final week and we don't really want to be talking about this, but I don't think this is going to derail our whole situation at all. So let's get straight into it. Now, Mitch Cleary on the agenda setters said this.
One of his premiership teammates has a big decision to make at the end of the season. We heard Stephen King of the Melbourne Footy Club earlier talking about experience and wanting to keep experience on the list. The Demons have come for Brody Mihocek in a big way. So the Pies feel they've had a really strong offer to Mihocek on the table for some time. He's parked till the end of the season. He turns 33 in February. I believe he's weighing up a really strong proposal to join the Melbourne Footy Club. They had a go at Danaher Hutchie at the start of the year. Clearly that won't be happening, but Melbourne is in the market for an experienced key forward, and they've identified this man, Brody Mihocek.
So there's a couple of interesting things from that clip. Now, the first one being that Collingwood have reportedly got a nice offer in front of Mihocek. The last time we sort of heard about it, it was 2 years. It was previously 1, but then it sounded like we upped it to 2 years, which takes him to, he'll be about 35 when that contract is up. We don't know monetary value. And the more I think about this, the more I wish that we were like the NBA and stuff where we do know how much money these players are on, but that's, for another conversation. So it's sounding like Collingwood 2 years at whatever it sort of may be, and it's a good offer. But now you've got the likes of Melbourne coming in and offering him a better contract, which sounds like it's probably 3 years at better money. So, which makes sense because if it's 3 year contract, it's always going to be better money. We heard a couple of weeks ago that the Kangaroos were interested. Sydney are reportedly interested as well.
Ken to Goey. Collingwood look a little bit more likely now, and their confidence is growing. Mihocek. Supreme skills around the sticks from Brody Mihocek.
Now, the thing with Brody Mihocek's contract is that he's an unrestricted free agent. So like Jamie Elliott, Tom Mitchell, Mason Cox, these guys can walk away from the club if they're offered, if Gold Coast come and say, we're offering you $800,000 over 3 years, Collingwood can't match that and they can just walk, and Collingwood would get a compensation pick. You would think sometimes maybe not. It depends on the age of the player, the length of the contract, and the money of the contract as well. Sorry, what the contract is worth. So we probably won't get much, if anything, if any of those players walk. So Mihocek got drafted back in 2017, debuted in 2018, was a rookie for a fair few number of years, led our goal kicking for 5 years, has played 158 games and kicked 267 goals. For the most part, he's been pretty healthy, averaging about 20 games a season, kicking close to 2 goals on average. I think it's like 1.7 or something like that. Very, very serviceable. A premiership player. We all love Brody Mihocek. Now, what would it mean if he did leave? I think maybe I'm just at this age where I kind of see this game as a business. I do enjoy it, and I do think it's entertaining and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it is a business. He'll make a business decision and a personal decision that if he needs the money, because he is getting older, he is starting a family and stuff like that, I can't begrudge him. But what does that mean for Collingwood's personnel and just our team? So we know, we're over 30 and all this sort of hoo-ha. But when you think about it, with the rumors that we're going after a Jack Buller from Sydney, possibly Ben King in the free agency in 2026, like at the end of 2026. We've got Charlie West in the VFL. We've got Noah Howes in the VFL. Membry, McStay. How do all of these players fit in by 2027? Even, even next year though, even in 2026. So if Mihocek was to leave, I don't think that would be the worst thing for us. Now, like I said, we probably don't get, a pick for him. I really, the calculations for the the calculations for compensation picks are just all over the shop. So here's the formula that the AFLPA have posted up. As you can see, it's based on age of player, the guaranteed payments, other benefits as well, and then there's 5 bands. We currently don't have a first round pick, but I'm pretty sure that even if you do finish, whatever it is, and you 17th, and you have gotten rid of your first round pick, it is based on your ladder position, so you will get a first round pick. There, kind of like what's going to happen with TDK and Carlton. But we don't have to worry about that because we're not going to be getting any of those. Probably first three, probably an end of second round, third round pick, just based on the age. And you don't think the contract is going to be a huge contract either.
Those 2 major sticks there. And Mihocek goals back to 16 points.
So why do I think this is going to work out for Collingwood's benefit? Well, I'm a glass half full guy, right? If Brody Mihocek stays, and once he stays with Collingwood, he wins his 17th flag in a couple of weeks. He stays at Collingwood, amazing. We've got our 5-time leading goal kicker staying in the team. Everybody loves him. A premiership player, just much loved around the club. The fans love him, and we know what we're getting, an absolute workhorse week in, week out to mentor the younger guys coming through. If Brody Mihocek decides to leave, we get a weird second, third round pick, but it gives Charlie West time to develop in the team. It gives Noah House time to develop in the team. It gives Jack Buller, if he is to come to Collingwood, time to develop in the team under a Dan McStay, under a Tim Membry as well. You think about it, Tim Membry is a shrewd move, picking him up at the end of last year on his contract if Brody Mihocek is to leave. So you still have that workhorse, but you can nurse a younger player coming through, and it just opens the door, the realm of possibility. Charlie West could have an incredible year next year if he's in the team week in, week out, and not just, playing and missing one, playing 1 week, missing another 4 weeks, and all this sort of stuff, because you have to fit in all your senior players who you have to give games to. So I think either way, it does really, really work out for us. And I don't mind it at all. And like I said earlier, I wouldn't begrudge Mihocek if he was to leave.
Into this. Mihocek again, he just couldn't get boot to ball. This time he will. Multiple goals, Collingwood.
What that does as well is if Mihocek is to leave, it does give us a little bit more salary cap room. Maybe Mihocek leaves and you've got whatever it is, $600,000 extra a year now. You give a little bit more to Jamie Elliott to keep him happy. You give a little more to a player that's sort of coming in, or you extend someone else's contract with a little bit more money as well. So I really do think that it's a win-win-win for us, no matter which way you look at it. Will I be sad if Brody Mihocek leaves? Of course, I will be sad if Brody Mihocek leaves, but I think it'll all work out. And look, these guys, the board, the list teams, they know what's going on. All we're doing here is guessing and giving opinions and stuff like that. We have no bloody idea. But if Jack Buller is going to come from Sydney, who's a big, tall, key forward, we got McCarthy in the draft as well coming. Charlie West, we are stacked for forwards. So I absolutely don't mind whichever way this goes. Let me know your thoughts down below. But until then, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets. And until next time, double shackers. I'll swoop you later.